Hello and welcome, folks. This is Sada here, and we are learning Laravel Dust together. This has been a very productive journey so far, I believe. I hope you guys have learned a lot from this. What we have done so far is we have used the register form and the login form that is included in Jetstream, and we have tested them for usability, and we have tested that they are working fine. We've also covered in login test, we covered another scenario in which we said, okay, if in which we tested that if the credentials are incorrect, whether or not the user is going to log in, and we learned a few assertions and a few positive assertions and a few negative assertions. If that's what you would call them, that's kind of a term that that you can use. So moving on, what we're going to do is we're going to use themes now. So themes is also something that is included by default in Jetstream. And we're going to use themes. And before we do that, sometimes, what we have been doing till now is we have been taking the help from screenshots and error screenshots and screenshots that we generated otherwise to have a look at details. But sometimes when it is a bit detailed, you actually need to go in and have a look, and figure out as to what divs and what elements you are targeting on the page. So how we are going to do that is, or how I prefer to do it is, I would actually go to PHP. I would actually go to Tinker. Sorry about that. And Tinker is a very dear friend. Tinker has actually helped me a lot in learning a lot of things, and it helps you in quickly generating data and using that. And as we use themes in the sign-in form test, we can quickly use. So what we're trying to do here is generate a user, and then we're going to manually, because right now, because it is reset every time, if we try and access the page, it's not going to be visible, and it's going to throw an error because the database as such is empty. There are no migrations right now, because every time we run a test, database migrations run, and by the end of the test, everything is gone. The migrations are reversed, and there's nothing in the database. So that is why it is going to throw an error. So let's generate some dummy data, and let's try and log in and play around with things and write a test, and then see if everything is working as expected. So app models team create, sorry about that, factory create. Okay, before we do that, of course, we need to migrate. Okay, and start Tinker again, and give it the team command. And what this is going to do is, as we saw in in the team factory before, that it's going to generate a team, and it's also going to generate a user. And that user is associated with this team, so we are not going to get any errors. When we now try and access the page, the migrations have been done, and we've added one user, so we can actually log in now. Okay, the login form is ready, and we can copy this email and type in password, because that's the standard password. And we log in now, and as you can see, we can see the dashboard, we can see Laravel Jetstream and everything, but this is not where we're going right now. For this test, we're going to have to go to team, and we'll need to click here and go to, let's say, team settings. And we're going to fill some of these forms. We're going to add a team member, we're going to add a team name, or edit a team name and check if everything is working correctly. Now these are very small forms, but but the way I'm going to teach you, hopefully you learn a lot from this. We're going to use quite a few variations of this, at least 2 or 3 variations, and you're going to see how to write these tests and how to verify that certain things are working correctly or otherwise. So one way is we can go here and we can click, for example, or we can simply say, because we know it's the first team that we are testing, so you can simply visit team1, team/1, and that will also do the trick. So let's start writing the test and see how things go. So PHP artisan task make check team name update. We're going to write this as team name update. So PHP artisan task make team name update. So we're going to check the functionality that team name update is working correctly. And coming to the form, first of all, just like all other tests, we are going to say use database migrations. Okay, and then we are going to say we're going to write our setup. Remember to return a void. And let's start by creating a user, because we'll need a user to log in, and we'll also need a team, otherwise it's going to throw an error. So just like before, the same command we're going to repeat here. And of course we need to import team. I have a really fat thumb. Okay. There you go. All right. So we're going to be able to create a team, and let's save it in a variable and try and dump that to see if this is being generated. This is a practice that you should really do, although this might seem a bit childish, but or something that you might feel is unnecessary, but you can quickly check that things are going step by step, things are going the way you want. And as you can see, we have blown something up. What we are missing is the parent setup. As you can see, I mean, it can be entirely unrelated. It might seem unrelated, but then you can get an error as soon as you miss something, especially returning this void and this parent setup thing. So let's try and run it again. And although they seem quite completely unrelated, they are in fact very much related, and this is working as expected now. So moving forward, what we're going to do is we're going to start writing our test, but before that we want to name it, and we will say that test team name can be updated. All right, now we will go to, first of all, we'll start writing the test, but do we need any data for that? We'll go incrementally and see if we need any data. All right, and we'll see. Okay, so first of all, we go to, all right, let's do it this way. So let's log in. Let's go to login, and then let's go to, sorry, okay, let's type in email. Let's type the email that we will generate and that we are going to generate now. We are going to write email. And because there is a user that has been saved in the database, we are going to, just like before, we're going to pick it up from user. And of course, we'll need to import user. Okay, and so the last user's email is going to be used as email here, and we need to use it here. Okay. And then we're going to say password. In the password field, we're going to type password. All right. And all right, and then we press, let's just keep going here, press login. Because this is a test we have already written, we'll up until now the steps are the same, so let's just keep going with this. Okay, so press login, and then let's first assert that we are assert path is /dashboard. So let's confirm that we are on dashboard and we see a Laravel Jetstream. All right. Remember, for example, I mean, if you later on, now this is the default text. So if you later on change the text, for example, if you say anything like Sardar's web app, or let's say any company name or anything that you're building for a client, and you rename this, of course, you're going to change data. You're not going to keep Laravel Jetstream. So you're going to have to change your tests. And to be honest, I mean, this is good for learning, but otherwise you should keep the tests like keeping in mind that it should include minimum things that are going to change in future. If things change further down the line, then you're going to have a problem, updating maybe, 20 to 50 to maybe even 100 tests for large applications. So ideally, you should only say, for example, assert path is /dashboard if that is what is going to be, because that's going to change. It's going to be difficult changing that in, anything that you're using, even if you're using customer authentication, and you are building everything by yourself. Then you, of course, define a particular URL where after login a user is going to redirect. So that is going to not change very often, but this text here, this can change very often. But anyways, just for the sake of learning, we're just going with the flow. Okay, now once they've seen this, we can do again just like we discussed before. We're going to use the first method that we discussed. So we're going to visit /teams/1. So this is going to give us an idea. This is going to quickly get us here because we know there's only one team that we have generated and we just want to test the functionality. So we are going to just go to /team/1. Yeah. Okay. Now, since we have run this test once, of course, the migrations have been reset and things seem to be different. So what we're going to do is we are just going to do a refresh. That's going to redirect us to login, and let's just log in once more. That's the user. Okay, now this is the same behavior that we are replicating. So you signed in and you came back. Because you were already on team/1, it brought you back to team/1. Okay. Otherwise, you would have had to click here and then click on the team. We're going to use that method as well, but for now, this is what we're going to do. So now, as you can see, now you are here. Now, instead of going to HTML every time, there is another method that you can quickly use to target the divs or the elements that you want to. And that is something super helpful, and very few people are teaching this when they are teaching tasks. So what you can do is you can do a quick inspect, and this is something that you can use from now onwards. It will be something that you'll be using in all of your tests, because this is the quickest way of getting to the div or to the element that you want to. So we're going to click on the Elements tab, and we are going to click on this arrow here, and we are going to click again on the intended input. So if we click on this is going to, for once, it's going to quickly show you a lot of details. For example, it's going to say role text box. So for example, if it says role button, you'll have to write your text accordingly. You'll have to say press. If it says role link, you have to use click or click link. I'll tell you the difference in a later video. Then what's going to happen is, the other helpful thing is it takes you to the very to the very HTML. So you come here and you see this line, that this is the line in which the name is there. Now this is going to give you some things. For example, it's saying ID name. So you immediately have something that you can use to target this. And let's first try this, and that should work. So we're going to say, all right, now we can do type. We can do type in this, but there is some data here before. All right, now can we type somewhere where there is data before? Let's find out. Let's find out together if we can type in this, and then press save. All right. Okay. So type here. We are going to use a random name. So let's say if we use Faker, we can use Faker, and let's do that. Yeah. Okay. So let's say company, and we're going to use company here. Going the reverse way, we should have, but let's do this. Company is equal to Faker. Sorry, Faker company, and of course we need to bring in Faker here. Faker is equal to Faker create. And we'll need to import Faker. Use Faker factory as Faker. And as you can see, company is Faker company. Sorry. Yeah, Faker company. So we are using, okay. So what we're going to do is, now this is where we are going to, where is it that we're going to type? So the ID is name. So we'll first have to define the ID. So hash ID. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to type in ID the company name that we generate using Faker. All right. And we're going to sign in using email. Now we'll find out there is some data here before, and we'll find out as to where it types. So this is really good for learning when we are pressing save, are we? Okay. We're not. So let's just press, because it's a button again. Now click on the button, and you'll see that it's showing you a lot of data along with it's taking you to the very element. And as you can see that this is a button. If you hover over it, this is also going to show that the role is button, and it is also showing you here that it's a button. That's why you can use press. If it shows that it's a link, you cannot use press. You'll have to use click or click link. And as I said, we're going to talk about click and click link later. All right. So for now, we'll say press save. And let's just run this. Okay, there it goes. Okay, goes to login, logs in, goes to team. All right, and it says, okay, no such element, unable to locate element. Oh my God, what did I do? So the ID, sorry, was supposed to be not ID. Sorry, my bad. Not ID, but the ID was supposed to be name, so it has to be name. Really sorry, folks. That's what happens when you work on a Sunday. Yeah. Okay, here goes. And it types and goes forward, and let's see. Yes, so it is typing in the text, in the field, sorry, and it is asserting that this is that. Okay, now we haven't asserted anything. There was nothing that we asserted, and we need to actually, because we didn't assert anything in the end, we need to actually add a pause of about 5 minutes and see as to what exactly is it that is happening. All right, so what we want to check is what is the message that it's generating, so that we can assert seeing that that message is there, and that is going to be good for our test, and our test is going to pass, and it's going to confirm the behavior that we want. So when you press save, it says saved. So we want to confirm that it shows saved. So assert C, and it says saved. Now that's fine, but I think there's one more thing that we should do, and we should add a small pause of 2 seconds, just to give it enough time to see, because as you could see that the message actually flashes. It takes some time to flash. It flashes and then goes away. So I think 2 seconds is a decent time for us to be able to see the message saved and confirm that our data has been saved and our change has been accepted. So running the test, it logs in. Okay, it says saved and perfect. So this is showing 3 assertions. The first 2 assertions were, of course, that we are on dashboard and Laravel Jetstream is visible. And now the third and final assertion that we just added is also confirming that it can see the message saved. Perfect. So the next thing that we can do is, although this is enough, there is one more thing that we can do, and that is confirming that this value exists in the database. And there's a very nice way of doing that, and that is assert database has. All right, assert database has, and you can check in the teams. You're asking it to check in the teams table, and you're asking it to confirm that name is equal to is actually company. All right. So now this is going to confirm for once that this has been saved in the database. The message, not only the message saved is flashing, but the value is also persisted in the database, and there is no doubt that the change has been accepted. And instead of 3 assertions, if we got everything correctly, we should see 4 assertions now. Okay, logging in. Okay, see saved. And voila. So 4 assertions. That means that in the team's database, there was this entry. I'm saying was because the database migrations have run. And if we now go to the database, we are going to be unable to see anything because the migrations are already gone. So, so it confirms that the value was indeed there in the database. And this is verified that our form is working correctly, and we can very well change the name. and it can be updated. There's no problem. This particular functionality is working fine. And that's the beauty of UAT. That's the beauty of Dusk. It takes you to a particular place, just like you would. I mean, in other tests, I mean, you can, yes, simply get a green, fine, no problem. But you can go along on the testing journey with the machine and see as to what exactly is happening in real time and confirm that everything is okay while you do it. With and the machine does it with the code does it with a different data every time, so it is confirmed that everything is working fine and the functionality is as expected. With this, I would like to end this lesson, and I hope you're enjoying this. And we're going to cover a lot of assertions. Actually, we're going to try and cover all of the assertions in this series, and we're also going to cover major exceptions and errors and problems that you might come across. And it's going to be a very comprehensive series. So I would like to request you to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet till now, and like my videos, and please also leave some suggestions in the comments. Thank you.